Welcome back, everybody. Been a little break in the action here. Took a little vacation. Been gone a couple of weeks, and the Philco looks a little different today, doesn't it? Well, when I got back from vacation, I got a package, kind of unexpected, but I got the new dial for the General Electric Colorama. So I'm going to put that in. One of the things that we're going to have to look at is every one that I've seen, the needle is further up on the dial here, and that's because this particular band switch, the way it works is there's just a rack and pinion down here with a cable and a spring that puts it back to where it needs to be. Well, it doesn't go far enough up simply because this cable has been broken over a period of time. It's as long as it possibly can be. So I went and I bought some of this twisted artistic wire. I went online. It's about 25 gauge. I think I paid $3 or $4 for it. You can solder it. I've loaned some to my, well, I didn't loan. I gave some to my buddy Josh Bowman and my neighbor. And he put it on his Radiola 18. And it worked really good. So I'm going to make this wire and replace it with this to make this fit properly. So let's flip the camera and get in here and take this off. Okay, I've already loosened this. Yeah, you can't see it. All right, I've already loosened this. Well, I said I did anyway. Loosen this bracket that holds the rack and pinion on the band switch itself, and it should just slide right off, which it did. Now up here there is a 1/4 inch screw, but the problem is the bracket won't let me put my nut driver on there. It's not skinny enough. So I'm just going to use some needle nose, which I don't like it, but I don't know any other way, because a wrench won't go in there, and you probably can't see from my hands, but let's take this off. And get far enough out, the nut driver might. No, it won't. So it's going to have to come out all the way. And I'm sorry if my hands are in the way, but I don't know of any other way to do it at this point in time. Now this is spring loaded, so it may unravel on me. But it's about 2 turns. I'm going to make the this cable originally, and I don't know of anybody that makes it for this, so I'm just going to have to do the best I can with what I got. And there went the screw. I believe down at the bottom here, I believe through this slot was a stop of some sort that was crimped onto or soldered onto this, and when this broke through the years, someone soldered this on. On the other end, let's see if we can get this off. Well, there it is. It came off. I told you it would be spring loaded. But this was wrapped twice. And then it goes through the hole, and it's got like a little crimp on the end of it. So we're going to have to fabricate something along this length. And since this is soldered, which it was not supposed to be soldered, what I plan on doing, it's a split. Don't know if you can see that or not, but it's a split. What I plan on doing is desoldering this, put a knot on the end of the new cable, wrap that in there, and bring an extra bit down here, and then solder it back into here. I think that'll be fine. It's held for many years, so I think that will work. So let me clear the table so I can work, and we'll go from there. Okay, here's the original. Maybe you can see. And then what I did is I took a small brass, a number 6 brass screw, and I cut the very end of it off and split it, and then soldered it on. Make a little knot there. So now we'll put that back in there, wind it around, and put it back on. I thought before I started fooling with this very much, I would show you the difference. If you'll remember, this had the bad spot. Thought I'd messed it up, but video evidence in the beginning showed that it was already messed up pretty good. But if you'll notice, this has got a little notch in it. And then, of course, this is the broadcast band, which you can tell it was the nastiest because it was on the top. And then this is one of the shortwave bands, and then the other shortwave band. If you'll notice how this is put together, it was stapled. And when you went down to the shortwave band, sometimes this lip would hang and you'd have to push it. And if the escutcheon is over it, there was no way to unlock it. So Radio Days made this one. What I've been waiting on is to make sure that John had made one for an E101, and he was waiting on feedback. And then as anybody that's been ordering from Radio Days knows that they've been flooded with a bunch of stuff and they had some illness and what have you, and they got behind, backlogged. So let me show you this dial. It has the notch in it in the same place, and that's what keeps it from rolling. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this end, just a bit, not a whole lot. But look down here how they've put it together. I think they've punched holes all the way across there and has glued that across there. So I think that's going to be better than stapling. Okay, what I did was I went ahead and glued the ends, just a little bit of glue. Put the dial on, made sure that the slot was in the proper place. I put a little bit, just a little bit of sewing machine grease. So let's go ahead and put this bad boy in here. Have to lift up on the far end of it. Okay. Now here's what we're going to do. This spring hangs onto this particular clip, and then this hangs into there. Okay, now we're not going to worry about the tension of it at this point in time, and I'll tell you why. I was working a little bit off camera, seeing how many turns I was going to have to turn it, and realized that as long as I don't have the cable on it, I can set the tension any way I want to. So let's go ahead and just put it in place. Let me put this screw in. You saw how it comes out. Okay, let's see if we can set this tension on this. I've got this installed. You saw how there is. If you'll notice on the spring, there is no tension on the spring at all here. Okay, so we're going to go around one turn, all the way around one turn. All right, right along there. So now we're going to take our homemade thing, our cable, and we're going to bring it over the top. Hopefully you can see this. Well, there we go. Bring it right over the top. Okay, so let me tilt this down a little bit. And you can see that this has got to go in this groove like this. So now if we want to line this up properly, I believe it's got to be pulled to about right there, in my opinion. Now let's turn it a lick as if we were, I'll hold this and we'll turn it as if we're turning the band like that, and then let's see if the tension, now I'm not pulling on it or anything like that, the spring is doing all the work, and so it brings it right back up there. So all I got to do is set the height where I want it and then come down here and solder that. Let me do that off camera. I soldered this in place. As you can see, the needle is right at the top of the dial, and that's the best of my knowledge and the pictures that I've seen. That is where it needs to be. The band switch, on all three of them, and it comes back into place again. So now what we've got to do is put this back in the cabinet and test it again. Now I did add a 7 ohm resistor on the side to drop the voltage down to about 115 volts or so. So that's the only thing else I've done to it. So let's put it in the cabinet and see if it works. When I did the went blank, the Howard 400X, I had it on the bench, played it for 2 or 3 weeks, put it in the cabinet and it wouldn't work. So anybody that's done this once or twice, I'll bet they've done it. Let me know if that's happened to you before. So let's put this thing up and let's see if this will work. Okay, here is it all back together. You can see the colors a little bit, perhaps. Fired it up. Let me get the lights down low and show you the Colorama. When there's no station tuned, it's got a red tint to it, and as you tune across stations, and the band conditions are not the best in the world right now, so the weaker stations will lighten the screen, turn it to yellow, and the stronger ones will make it green. You see it turning. But when you get to a real strong station, you can tell the brighter green it is, that's going to conclude this one. Appreciate everybody watching and the patience staying with me, and it took me a while to get it done, but I just wanted to show you the final product there. So from Larry from the hills of Tennessee, thanks for watching. Preaching the service, if she wants magnolias out in the country, not to